All right, it is Colleen, and we are doing the Team InspireAction call. Thanks so much for getting on and listening on the callback or the playback if you are listening that way. A couple announcements. They're all in the Team InspireAction cover photo, so please check that out. Look at the announcements there and make sure you are up to date on all of our training groups and everything that's coming up about Summit, about the new things being released by corporate, the Beachbody app, the on-demand app, the tracker, challenge tracker. Get on and figure those things out. I've got as much information on there as I can, and I'm sharing that with you guys as I am finding information out. So a couple things. I wanted to mention something really quick to you guys. You know that I'm always real with you. I share my struggles. I tell it like it is. I let you guys know when I'm struggling or what I'm dealing with. And one thing was there was several different coaches on our team that are also having team calls tonight. And that just got scheduled for whatever reason. But I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't do a call. Maybe I should just give them a recording or let them do it, or we should reschedule it. And then I was thinking, and I had done some personal development yesterday. It made me think through, like, no, coaching is about showing up. And coaching is about never giving up. And I had watched, actually, a good friend of mine who's a coach, Sarah Try, and a video that she did about a band that she went and saw. And it was a great band, but nobody was there. Like, if some reason nobody was there. She's like, but this band doesn't just walk off or think, nobody showed up, we're not good anymore, we're going to give up. No, they play their hearts out, they do their best, they go on, and they keep going. It's about showing up and enthusiastically living their passion, which is their music. So for me, coaching is my passion, and sharing with you guys is what I show up to do and want to show up to do. And it's not always easy in this business. Things don't always go the way that you want them, or people don't always show up in your challenge group, but you still show up, give it your best, and share. And I know that people will take away from that, whatever they take away from this call, from watching it later, or for you guys for being on tonight. So thank you for all of you. And just know that, even after some years, I still struggle times with thinking, oh, is it really important? Or, oh, is it really necessary? Or is it something I should do? Yes, showing up is important. It is something you should do. No matter who's listening, show up. So I wanted to cover a topic tonight that is near and dear to my heart. And I'll tell you guys a couple stories along the way about how it relates to our personal story with our family. But our team name, of course, is Team InspireAction. And we're always working on the mission of inspiring others to take action and to live their best life, whether that's with their health, their fitness, building a more confident self, working on finances, and building a business so you can be living a life that you want and that's maybe different from the situation right now. I'm all about inspiring you guys to take action and to do what you can to live your best life. But when we're focused on fear, we don't often take action. It's really common to come into this business or to be going through this business and to be faced with the idea of fear. And so then we delay reaching our goals, and we are not as strong in our ability to help other people when we are focused on our own fear. So tonight I'm going to provide some ways of looking at fear in a new way and how it affects your coaching business, and provide some tips to you guys on how to move from fear to fearlessness. All right, so some of you guys have heard my story before, have maybe seen my posts, heard me talk before about our experience with my son who has autism. And then the Sunrise program, which was part of our pretty early on in our journey through autism, the program that we started to implement at home. Part of that whole program is really getting into looking at yourself and your own personal growth. So personal development was not new to me when I became a coach. That's one thing I had already gone through a couple years of with our program. And one of the really most important things was looking at our fears that hold us back from so many things with our children and in the rest of our lives. So I had started going through a lot of learning about myself and looking at my own beliefs, and within those beliefs, what beliefs I have about fear. And I want to share that with you guys because it's been so helpful to me throughout my business. And so I'm going to go through several different topics of how I look at fear and a way to look at fear in a new way. And then also some ways to reframe your thinking to get into more fearlessness and to help that be more useful to you than staying maybe stuck in a fear mindset. All right, so I've got notes to keep me organized tonight. So I'm going to go through those. And I'm also going to provide some examples of my own personal coaching business and how it's how it plays out in that. And some just general examples of how fear kind of comes into our business as a coach. So let's see. So just to go back a little bit, fear was a huge part when my son was first diagnosed with autism. And we were stuck in fear for quite a while there. And it's fear of the future. What's it going to be like? And fear of how we could help him and how we can connect with him when your son doesn't look at you and doesn't respond to you and doesn't talk with you and doesn't call you mom or dad, never responds to I love you. There's a lot of fear that you can focus on in all of that. And also then a lot of sadness and a lot of anger and a lot of emotion that wasn't useful to us. So we started to really take a look at that and figure out, what do we want to believe about this and how can we reframe it to make it useful to him and to us in our life? So a way that was presented to us to start thinking about fear in a new way is kind of what I'm going to go through. And I just ask you to open your mind and take it in as we're going through tonight and as you're listening to this. And you can decide later whether you want to take it or leave it. And that's really okay because it's truly up to you. It's your beliefs and it's up to you. But I really encourage you to think about it and see if maybe a new way of thinking about fear might make sense for you as well. So there's this anatomy of fear that we learn about. And the anatomy of fear is sort of the beliefs that help us to understand fear. And I'm going to present that in a new way. So number one, lots of people think that fear is a given. Of course, if certain situations happen, of course we're going to be scared. Of course we're going to be nervous about that. Of course you are going to have fear. But fear is irrational. It's not irrational. We do have reasons for it. We often use fear to protect ourselves or to avoid doing something that we don't want to do or we don't think we'll be good at. We don't want a certain outcome, and so we fear even trying because we are scared that we will get an outcome we don't like. And we maybe are avoiding embarrassment or judgment from others or shame. And how many experience that in your coaching business sometime? Fear about any of those things. Yes, for sure. I mean, we do, but there is a new way to start thinking about that. And so we'll get into that next. The second part about the anatomy or the belief system about fear is the fear game. So doing fear. And this is part of the whole option philosophy that was part of what we learned and went through as we were doing the Sunrise program. But the fear game, or the idea of doing fear, is a not want game. We're always focused on something we don't want to happen when we are doing fear and using fear in our life. Like when I first became a coach, I was really focused on the fact that I don't want to be judged by my family or my friends. I don't want to be, I don't want to be that coach that all of a sudden starts putting up all these pictures of muscles and everything. And I've told you guys about my crazy, first selfie. It was like my armpit, trying to show a muscle. And I was so scared of what people would think. And my friend did say what was that? What's going on? And she was even a Beachbody customer. She liked the programs, but she was like, what's going on there? So I was nervous and scared about it, but I found a way to do it. And just do it. And so let's see. And then as I got into it more, I had the fear of, I don't want to have to return to a full-time job if I don't make this work. I don't want to have to do that. So it's a not want. We're focused on that oftentimes when we're using fear. I don't want my husband to think I'm a failure because I can't make this successful, and maybe not as fast as he expects me to, or as fast as I expect myself to. We might have fears about that. I don't want to seem like a fraud to people where I'm promoting things that I'm not in the best shape yet, or I'm not at my top weight loss. And so are people going to think that I'm a fraud or think that I can't, how can I help them? So I don't want any of those things. That's what fear is often about. Number 3, all fear is future oriented. So we're anticipating something in the next moment, tomorrow, a year from now, 5 years from now. It's a perfect example. We are really anticipating future unhappiness. So when my son was diagnosed, and so many of the other parents that we met were really, really in a fearful position, and they thought, oh my gosh, what's going to happen when my child's an adult? What's going to happen when my child can't go away to college? What's going to happen when I die? We had to stop and think. Our kids are 4. Our kids are 5. Why am I thinking, why am I so scared? Why am I focusing on when I'm going to die? When my kid's probably going to be 60 years old or whatever, hopefully. Why am I focusing on my kid going to college? They're just like learning to go to the bathroom right now. Like we got a lot of time. So it really started to make sense when I was in classes for this, and they would start to think, well, just asking, not judging at all, but asking, well, why are you thinking about that fear when your child is an adult? How old is your child? And the person's like 5 years old, and they're like, oh, okay, well, what is that helpful to think about that now, or is there something else? And really just digging down, not judging, not saying you're wrong. That's not what it's about, but it's really thinking about, well, why are you thinking that right now? So it's all about future oriented. So fear that I won't get my business to diamond and my goal, and I'll have failed, and I'll be done, and nobody will ever trust me with this, and no one will believe in me because I haven't even met that goal yet. Okay, so that's fear. Maybe you're a brand new coach, or maybe you're a coach that's only been doing this a few months, but you have fear about, well, I'm not going to be able to do this full time. I'm not going to be ever able to make the amount that Colleen's making, or to be successful like her, or I'm never going to be star diamond times 3 million like Janelle Summers. I'm never going to be that, but that's way down the road. So it's all about future oriented, even if it's just a few days from now or a year from now. It's all focused on something in the future. Number 4, each instance of fear is precipitated by a fear-generating question. So we're always thinking, how will this hurt me? What do I have to lose? What am I going to lose in this situation? Who's going to judge me? What will happen that is bad for me or for someone in my family? So all of those things are fear-generating questions that we often focus on when we're dealing with fear or anxiety. Anxiety is a form of fear. So in coaching, those questions definitely, how are people hurt me? Well, if someone says no, how's that going to hurt me? We're focused on that fear of what that means when they say no. What do I have to lose if I put myself out there? Well, someone's going to laugh at me. Someone's going to make fun of me. Someone's going to unfriend me. Someone's going to make a comment on my page. Those are all fears we might have about small little tasks within being a coach and putting ourselves out there. And number 5, last sort of belief within the fear, anatomy of fear. There is no fear, you guys might think this is crazy, but there is no fear of the unknown. All fear has a target. So a lot of times, this one comes up a lot with coaches, and they'll say, well, I'm just scared to put my posts up. I'm really scared about that. And I'll say, well, what are you scared of with that? I don't know. I'm just scared. And I lovingly and supportively ask them to go a little bit further with that and ask, well, what do you think would happen? What if you did put up that post? What if you did invite somebody to a group? What if you did invite someone to become a coach on your team? And they're usually able to say, well, I think they would, they would say no, or they would say that they don't have time, or that they don't have the money, or that. So they're scared of someone saying no. But then further even, okay, so if they say no, what does that mean? Well, that maybe I can't lead a team. I'm not good enough to be a leader. I'll never be good at this. So you have a reason for that fear. There is a target. You are fearful of a certain outcome. It's not unknown to you. You have an idea about what you think could happen, or you think is going to happen. And that is what you're fearing. It's not just, I'm scared of the unknown. Even in our life, when we say, we're scared of taking a new job because it's unknown. We just don't know what it's going to be like. Probably not. If you dig further, you're scared of people not liking you. You're scared of not liking the job. You're scared of not doing well in the job. You're scared of something happening in that job. You're not just scared of not sure what. You're not scared of the unknown. You're scared of some particular outcome or multiple outcomes that you might think are going to happen or could happen. So, we are scared of failing, someone thinking of us as a fraud, being judged. We are fearful of a certain outcome, definitely. We can always ask ourselves more questions, or have our coach lovingly ask us questions to identify what those fears are really about. Okay, so getting to then primary beliefs of fearlessness is, I don't have to understand or make sense of all that's going on to be fearless. So think about that. Like, I don't have to understand exactly how the whole business works to decide I can do this business. I can be fearless, and I can go forward, and I can keep learning, and I can be successful at this. You don't have to understand all of it. I definitely, in the beginning, did not understand all of anything about autism, but I knew I wanted to be the best for my son, and I knew I would help him in any way that I could, and I would love him and connect with him, and that is what helped him. I knew I wanted to be successful as a coach eventually, at the point where I realized I really could do that, to never have to go back to a full-time job. I don't know all of how that's going to work out. I don't know how all that's going to play out, or I didn't, a couple years ago. But I knew I wanted to work towards that. Number two, the next belief is, I'm fully equipped to take care of myself. If you have the belief of, I'm fully equipped, that I'm going to be okay and I can take care of myself, then you can deal with anything. So you can have all these ideas about fear and, oh my gosh, all these things are going to happen. But if your internal belief is, I can do this, I'm going to be able to take care of myself, then it doesn't matter. Maybe those things will happen. Maybe they won't, but you're going to be okay. And the belief that you're going to be okay is going to help you to proceed with doing the best things that you can do to get towards the outcome that you want. Number three belief, everything happens for my benefit. You can choose to believe everything happens for my benefit. So for me, that really makes sense for me to think about when something really crappy in your day happens, or something in your business happens. You didn't reach a goal. You didn't get successful. What is the benefit in that for me? Well, I can maybe decide, where did I not follow through on my daily activities? Where do I need to work harder for next month? Well, how do I deal with that? How do I deal with not meeting that goal? What am I doing? How can I be stronger in that moment? How can I become stronger? And how can I learn to do better next month so I can meet that goal? So everything happens for my benefit. That's been a really big thing for me, because I'm always looking in pretty soon now, because I've practiced it a lot, after something happens. So the other day, right before I did my workout, I think I posted about this. Dave got in the mail a ticket that I got for a speeding ticket from one of the magical cameras that are posted. There's no police around, but the camera is posted there, and it got my license plate and it got my speed. And, I was like, God, so in that moment, I'm like a split second. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to use that to fuel me to have a really great workout today and move on, because there's nothing I can do about that. So you can choose in the moment to have, okay, what about this is good? What can I do with this and make it a situation where I can learn something good can come of it. I'm always gaining knowledge. I'm always gaining wisdom. I'm always gaining new experience. That is truly what I chosen to believe about my family situation and autism and my coaching business. I mess up on a team call. I mess up in an invite to somebody and they don't end up becoming coach. I could really beat myself up over that, or I can go back and think, well, what did I learn from it? And what can I do next time? Next belief, number 4 belief, the universe is friendly. This is a big one. Lots of people think the universe and the world and our society is like horrible, falling apart. That's not a comfortable way for me to live. I don't feel good. And I don't feel like having great, engaging conversations with people if I'm going through my day, always looking for like the horrible part of the world. So I don't choose to believe that. And I don't look for that in my life. I'm looking for examples of the way that the universe is friendly and the way that people are friendly. And I can see the best in things in our world. Some people might think that's like walking through the world with rose-colored glasses. Maybe it is, but it helps me to be the person that I want to be and to be a light to some other people and to be the most engaging and welcoming and caring person, because that's what feels good to me. So that's what, how I've chosen to believe, and it really helps with not being fearful of so many situations. And lastly, number 5, comfort will take me wherever I want to go. So even in situations where I don't know what's going to happen with Gavin's future, I don't know exactly, will he be able to be fully independent and go on? I don't know that about my other son either, really. So I try to be as comfortable as I can in the moment right now, because that's going to help me to get both of them as close as possible to them being great, independent, wonderful human adults someday. Same thing in my coaching business. So a lot of times if I'm going to go up on stage and speak, if I'm going to get on a call, if I'm going to talk to somebody that I'm, kind of fearful, not really sure what they're going to say, not sure if they're going to, judge me or whatever, I think I'm going to get as comfortable as I can right now. And I'm going to just talk to them, and they can, whatever happens then happens. But remember, I go back to the other belief of I'll be okay. I'll be all right if they say no. I'll be okay if they tell everybody she's a phony, a fake, I don't know, whatever they say, but I know I'll be okay. So deciding to be comfortable in the moment is going to help me be at my best and be the most useful. Maybe it will work for you too. Okay, so let me check on the time. Okay, we got a couple minutes. So I'm going to go to the quick steps out of fear. Okay, there was a couple other things, but they are sort of repeated in this. So I'm going to just go to this, the quick steps out of fear. So if this is in your business, these are times when you might be feeling a little anxious, a little nervous. Try these techniques and see if they can help you move through that fear and still do what you need to do or want to do. Remind yourself, this fear isn't happening to me. I'm doing this. I'm scaring myself, and I can change that. That's the coolest part, is when we reframe it and realize, like, all that stuff out there isn't scaring me. I'm doing it because I'm believing something about it. So I'm believing that it's really scary to invite these people to my group. But if I believe I'm just offering them an opportunity, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter, really. I'm still a good person. I still have an awesome business. I still have an amazing team. I'm still going to run a killer group. it doesn't matter if this person or that person says no. That's okay. I'll just keep inviting more people. So you are choosing, we all are choosing to scare ourselves about certain situations. Whether it's getting on stage, talking to people, inviting people, posting a picture, starting to teach a fitness class. It's all about what we are choosing to see and believe about those situations. So we can change that. That's the cool part. We are in control. Okay, so number 2, ask yourself, why am I creating fear now as a way to protect myself from future unhappiness? So I talked about the example of fear, when our kids are really little, about what's going to happen, 25, 30 years from now with them as an adult. That's not real useful in the moment. Another thing, let's see. Fear of not reaching a rank goal with my coaching business because I don't want to be seen as a failure. What if I don't reach that goal? Maybe I shouldn't go for it. That's not going to be useful to me in that moment. So why am I creating fear now? If I have a goal of reaching 15-star diamond within the next 2 years, why am I being scared about that right now? That's not going to help me to get there. And it's taking me away. It's taking my energy. It's taking my focus away from just the daily small tasks that are more likely to get me there. Okay, and that's 15-star diamond, that's diamond, that's emerald, that's any of those. It's why am I fearful about not reaching that goal down the line whenever? Why am I fearful of not being able to always stay home and have to go back to work? That used to be a fear of mine, or something I didn't want. Why would I focus on that rather than what I can do right now to help me get to that goal? And then why and focus on helping my team and my challengers, because that's what matters right now and is what helps me get closer to that goal anyways. Number 3, all right, there's 2 more. We've got the first 2 already. Remind yourself the fear isn't happening to you. You're doing it. You can choose differently. Number 2, ask yourself, why am I creating fear now as a way to protect myself from future unhappiness? Number 3, find the disguise. And this is one that's probably, this one and the next one are the most helpful to me. Find the disguised want in the not want. So I talked about that previously. We're always focused on the not want when we're doing fear. So how can I switch that around? How can I find what I do want in that not want that I'm really working up in my head and being fearful about? So like I said, I don't want to have to work in this full-time job that I hate. Some people are really like my main goal with Beachbody, of course, helping others and all that, but their personal goal or their personal vision involves getting to a stay-at-home position or working from home or doing Beachbody full-time. So they say, I don't want to have to work in this full-time job that I hate. I have to work with these people. They're very focused on that. So I've got to make this business work because I don't want that. That's a way you could motivate yourself. And maybe that's motivating to some people. But you also could switch it around a little bit and figure out, what do I want? And focus on that. So I want the ability to work from home and have that time freedom and have that flexibility in my schedule. For me, that is a very big one. And I changed it around from I don't ever want to have to go back to work again to I want to be able to stay at home and be here for my kids and take them to activities and be involved with their school. I want to build my business to the point where I don't have to worry about insurance and take a job so that I can cover insurance for my family. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And so I'm going to continue to work this business. Not, I don't want to be a failure. I don't want anybody to, say no to my group, but I want to help 100 people in the next year. Okay, restating that is really important. And then 4th, create one action that you could take to move toward your want. And that's why reframing it is important, because it helps you then to think about, okay, now I've got it stated in a way that's positive and moving forward. Now, what action can I take to get me just a little bit closer? So for me, my goal is to be at 5-star diamond by the time summit's here. It's a big goal for me. It's been one I've been working on. I want to reach that goal by that date. So if I'm focused on all of my not wants, like I don't want to be at the same rank that I was last year at Summit. I don't want to not go up on stage. I want to be a 5-star diamond. It's important to me. So I want to focus on that and focus on how I state that, and then focus on those little actions to help me get there. So I want to focus on finding coaches and people that want to be involved in my team, that want to do this opportunity, that want to share it with other people. You know, I want to find people that really want to focus on this and that I can help believe in themselves to move forward and to share it with other people and to become successful with it as well. So the action that I can take is so much more likely to help me reach that goal than staying stuck in that fear of I don't want. All right, so we want to focus on what that one action that I can do right now. So for us, that was so important in our experience with my son. We didn't want to continue to focus on our not wants, and we wanted to start focusing on what can I do right now that will make a difference with him. And it's the same exact thing for us with coaching, you guys. What can we focus on right now to help us move forward towards those goals, whether they're short-term goals or longer term? So I got through it just over a half hour. We made it. Are there any questions? Please feel free to ask questions about it or to bring up an example. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll have a clear recording for that.